We're live.
We are live. Here we go. All right. Hello and good morning, everyone. This is Aaron Maurer, Mr. Maurer, Coffee Chug, the bald guy, whatever it is that you refer to me at Bettendorf Middle School. And I am here in a situation where we need your help. We want your voice. We're big on student voice. We're pushing the envelope here. And we have an amazing opportunity for you to act on your voice. And so I have here with me to help kind of explain what we're about to ask from you is a great friend and a great leader really pushing the envelope in student voice. So Zach, why don't you kind of quickly introduce yourself so they know who you are?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Aaron. My name is Zach Malamed. I am from New York. I'm currently actually a junior at the University of Maryland, College Park. And a few years ago, using a medium that some of you might know called Twitter, I started a nonprofit called Student Voice that has been focused on giving students the opportunity to have, of course, voice in their education, but also the opportunity to really create an educational experience with educators that is most beneficial to them as students. And for a while, we've been having these conversations around what does student voice look like? How do we make this something easy and tangible for students to take and act on? And so, long last, after a lot of thoughts, conversations, we settled on this idea called the Student Bill of Rights. And the Student Bill of Rights is an infrastructure by which all students can see what issues are a part, or what are the components of their education. What areas are influencing their educational experience, both in and outside of the classroom. How can they learn about those experiences and then have an impact on those areas? And I know that's something, Aaron, you and I have been talking about for a while. And of course, the Student Bill of Rights does much more than I just described, but that's the basis for what it's meant to, how it's meant to help serve students.
Awesome. And that's probably about the best explanation you can give in 1 minute, meaning that there's many layers to student voice and student agency. And so those of you watching this video are probably questioning, well, why in the world am I watching this right now? And really kind of what's in it for me and why should I care? And so, Zach, could you, in another brief explanation here, talk a little bit about maybe the Student Bill of Rights and what the overarching goals are with these Bill of Rights that probably a lot of students don't even realize that they have access to or have the rights to even have.
Right. Oh, well, to kind of take a step back, actually, the Bill of Rights was inspired by something called the My World campaign that the UN has been running for a few years. The UN has had a Millennium Development Goals in place since 2000. And this time around, there was a 15-year span that those goals were going to last for. Starting in 2015, they were going to re-up those goals and figure out what do we want to really tackle when it comes to world poverty. And so they created the My World campaign, where young people from across the world have had the opportunity to vote on the issues that are most important to them when it comes to addressing poverty. And the number one issue across the board, regardless of demographic, has been education. Fascinating. Education has been the number one. And you can tell what a female from Zimbabwe who's under the age of 15, who has some primary educational experience and comes from a community with a low human development index, thinks about her the issues that are affecting her experience with poverty. We're taking that idea and we're applying it towards education. We want to understand, and as you can see here with the Bill of Rights, we want to understand and help you better understand what issues you might be facing in your education. What do you want to work on with your educators to improve in your school environment? And help you figure out also how can you work with those educators to create better environments. So when it comes to employability, how do you make sure that what you're learning is going to help you get the job of your dreams? When it comes to fair assessment, how do you make sure that the way in which you are being evaluated or assessed is something that's representative of what you believe to be your who you are as an individual? Or when it comes to free expression, how do we make sure that you do have a voice that isn't inhibited by any means whatsoever? But what we want to do is give you the opportunity to vote on what issues you most want to work on improving within your school and within your community. And we're going to be, you guys at Bettendorf Middle School are going to be among the first across the country to actually be voting on the issues that are most important to you. And you're going to lead the way for schools all across the country when it comes to understanding these are the issues that we want to work on as a school community, because the students have been the driving force behind this. And we want to work with students and for students to make sure that their educational environment is everything that they ever hoped for and dreamed of. And that's part of what the Bill of Rights will help you to do. You'll be able to vote, and you'll be able to see how your votes compare to those votes of schools in California and New York, in Texas, and so on and so forth, and how they even compare to other schools in your own state. But ultimately, Bettendorf Middle School is going to be leading the way with this voting process, a voting process whereby which you'll be voting on the three issues that are most important to you, and then your school will be charged with tackling those three issues with you over the next year, and working on ways to show improvement so that other schools can learn from you and say, hey, Bettendorf Middle School did an amazing job building an environment where there was more safety and well-being in school, or there was greater opportunities for employability and whatnot, to the point where they say Bettendorf Middle School is the school that we want to follow. And so you guys have the ability to not only lead within your school, but you also are in a position to lead your peers all across the country. And I think that's what's so exciting about this opportunity.
This is a phenomenal opportunity, and I'm so glad that the students at Bettendorf Middle School can lead the way and be the first to kind of get this voting underway. And so students, right now, you're probably wondering when this is going to happen. And so what we're going to be doing after this video here is be giving you a paper copy of the Student Bill of Rights so you can understand those in more detail, maybe have some class discussion on those if you need to. And then you're going to be voting on the top three that you think are most important to Bettendorf Middle School. We're not here to create a radical revolution and say everything is bad. This is a proactive, a positive approach. So here are the three rights that you think really could be acted upon here at Bettendorf Middle School. And then the goal then, through Iowa High Five and other student voice organizations that we have here in Bettendorf Middle School, the high school, as well as the state of Iowa, we're going to move into action and try to enhance your education. So we want you in the driver's seat with educators and other support staff in the backseat, helping make sure that you can reach these goals and ideas. And so as we wrap this up, because we know we want to be aware of your time, Zach, as well as students' time, is there anything else that you want to leave for the students before we get them moving into looking at the top three things that matter most to them?
I think you kind of just touched upon it, but what I'll say is that, vote on what you are most excited about addressing as a student. It doesn't mean what you're voting on is bad in your school. You could be voting on the things in your school that are great. Like technology in your school could be great. And if you're voting on technology because you want to see technology take that next leap in your school, by all means, go ahead. Because we want to make sure that the collective efforts of the school community should be focused on the areas that students are most passionate about, students are most excited about, and students really see as a critical component of their learning experience in school. And year after year, we'll see the progress here. And you guys are going to be the driving force behind how Bettendorf Middle School really supports students of the future and supports you now, of course, as well. And I think that's an incredibly exciting opportunity that students just don't have all across the country. And you're going to be opening those doors for students, maybe not all across the country, but across the world too. So it all starts in Bettendorf Middle School. I'm pretty excited about that.
Awesome. And so I think as we wrap this up here, Zach, thank you for your time. Students, I thank you for your time. And I also am thanking you for being proactive in utilizing your voice. I think not enough of you realize that you have a voice. And if you do realize you have a voice, understanding that your voice does matter and it does need to be heard. And so thank you very much. And we look forward to those results. And obviously, as we get those compiled and get them moved into the student voice things, we'll be sharing that with you, getting those results. And this will be leading to some powerful conversations and student agency.
One thing also, if you guys, one more thing. If you guys want to engage with Student Voice, me and Student Voice, use the Stu Voice hashtag on Twitter, hashtag STU Voice on Twitter, or I'm at Zach Mal on Twitter, and you guys can talk with me. I can answer any questions you have about the Student Bill of Rights and about how you guys can help improve education all across the country. I'm here for you, and know that. And Aaron, I'll make sure to share that information with you. But I'm really excited to really use this as a catalyst for conversation all across the country, and to be here to help you really be the champions of change. So thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.